Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to We Talk Sport Week 2. Apologies for being slightly late. Basically, I had a lot of stuff going on today. As you can tell, I haven't got my normal setup in place. That's how you can tell this is running late. It's won't be a particularly long show anyway, so that's be good news for you. I will be touching upon this again. Good old VAR did more screw ups at the weekend. And the ineptitude of the England cricket team when it comes to playing abroad. But first, we'll start with VAR. Once again, over the weekend, we had some very, very bad VAR decisions occur. And the biggest problem with VAR, and it's going to be the biggest problem with VAR, no matter what you do, is the simple fact of, well, how do I put it? Regardless of anything else, it still involves people. Ultimately, when it comes to making a decision. So it's always going to be bad. But we've had a couple of penalties over the weekend, which should never happen. We've had some fouls, but VAR needs to go from football. It's as simple as that. It's a bad thing. It really is. But we had some good sports results over the weekend, which is good. Unfortunately, we've also had some not so good things for sport over the weekend, which involved some unfortunate racist comments on social media. Yeah, not a fan of that whatsoever. It's not on. Knock it off. There is no way in any world that is an okay thing to do. It really isn't. It sucks. And if you're one of these people who feels it necessary to be racist to people on social media, go away. Honestly, don't want you at all. Not interested in having you being watching or being involved in stuff that goes on here. It's terrible. It really is. Okay, so that's the VAR part done. See, told you I'm going to be a very long show. Okay, subject number 2. We had the third England Test match against India. It lasted a grand total of 2 days? The Test matches usually last about 4 or 5 days, and it went so quickly because England went to India to play on a country which is well known for spinning pitches and didn't play spinners. Or didn't play enough of them, I should say. I don't think it's very clever at all. So by consequence, they lost in basically 2 days. There is another test on Thursday. We'll see if they get any better. This is not a day-night match, though, so it's back to 4 in the morning starts for people in the UK to watch it. So enjoy. Then, of course, after that, we go on to T20s and one-day internationals. And then, of course, we go into the summer where we've got, I think it's South Africa and New Zealand. These will take place in England. And later in the year, of course, you have the Ashes. A lot of this sort of stuff may or may not have crowds, depending on what happens with COVID here, because we're currently on a national lockdown here. However, we've had a plan set out to go out of any sort of restrictions put in place. The first step is actually in about 7 days from now, on the 8th of March. And then the 29th of March, then I think it's the 17th of May, and then the very last one is the 21st of June, where if everything's gone to plan, basically there'll be no restrictions, which means you'll be able to have fans in stadiums and everyone will be okay. It's contingent on I think it's 4 different factors, and hopefully if they all go right, we'll be good. But that'll apply for every sport, so hopefully we'll get fans back. As long as it's safe, of course. I want it to be safe towards the middle or end of the year. So that would be good. So obviously that's fans in this country. In America, for example, they've already got fans in for certain events like they did for the Super Bowl, but they were socially distanced and adhering to the local guidelines. That's American rules and that's their law. That's fine. We have different things in place here because we're on a national lockdown here in the UK. I mean, well, England, I should say, because different parts of the UK have different rules for what's going on. Just to clarify that one, because I know some people get a bit confused on that one. Yeah, the United Kingdom is Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland as well, and all of us have different implementations as to what's going on with COVID things. But the ones I just explained to you are for England only. Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland will have their own routes of how they're going out of what's currently going on. But at least in England's case, there's a good chance we will be able to have fans from midsummer onwards. And we might even have normal, well, I'd say a fairly normal thing afterwards, but we'll see. Because it's supposed to be European Championships this year in the summer. We'll see how that works because it's supposed to take place all over Europe. And with current problems with COVID and whatnot, that could be an issue. So we'll have to see how that goes. Let's see. Did have a bit of feedback from some of you, mainly concerning how do I put this? The rules of football, okay? Because when I mentioned about the VAR thing last time, people were about, oh, it's VAR. It's not just VAR, it's the rules. And yeah, to be perfectly blunt, it's something I should have addressed last time, so that's my bad. There have been some rule changes in football, European football, for Americans, or what you'd call soccer, where they've changed handball rules, offside rules, various other things, and some of the issues people are having are actually those rule changes. They're not VAR. So that's something that gets a bit conflated. VAR still has its own problems as well. But some of those rule changes need to be overturned or done away with because they've not helped the football. In fact, they've made it worse. Yeah. So let's see. We've currently got the Six Nations rugby going on as well. That's something else to bring up to light here. Obviously, that will please everyone who enjoys rugby. I personally don't, but I mention it because obviously it's a sports show, so we mention it. Six Nations, for those who don't know, is basically England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, France, and Italy. And yeah, that happens. I think it's every couple of years, if I remember correctly. I don't remember for certain. And from the looks of it, England aren't going to do very well. They lost to Wales the weekend. Who knows? We'll see. But I think that's basically the bullet points of all the roundups of what's currently going on. We'll see what happens. So, guys, yeah, that's it for We Talk Sport for this week. There'll be another one next Monday. Hopefully, I'll be able to be more prepared. But and honestly, guys, I do apologize, but I had a very full-on day. A lot of stuff happened. So yeah, just wanted to make sure you at least got a dose of it today, more than me not doing it. So you guys can obviously there's this next week. You can check out Sorting Stuff podcast on Wednesday, where you will see me with all the other people for the quiz. Let's see, is there anything else that's going on this week? Show-wise, I don't think there is, but Sorting Stuff definitely. So that'll be Wednesday between 6 and half 6, usually is what it is. Anyway, I will let you guys all go. So, because after I've done this, I'm going to go have coffee and dinner. So, see you guys later. Enjoy. Bye-bye.